In the latest GCSE exams with AQA, if you did all the maths questions and nothing else, but got all those maths questions right, you would get a grade 4, and you'd only be 4 marks away from a grade 5. Of all the questions that are left, if you got just half of them right, you would get a grade 8, and you'd only be 7 marks away from a grade 9. In this video, I'll show you how to squeeze every last mark out of those maths questions and not fall for their tricks. I'm Nathan, a physics teacher and co-founder here at Wavelength Tuition. I'm a fully qualified teacher with a Masters in Education, a GCSE examiner, and have over a decade of teaching and tutoring experience. What I'm about to show you has two purposes. One, it gives you a really nice structure to work with if you don't like the mathsier questions. And two, it makes sure you don't miss anything out of the calculation questions and therefore lose any unnecessary, silly marks. This technique can be used in any area of maths in science, including biology and chemistry, and can be used with combined or triple sciences at either foundation or higher levels. While it's been designed with AQA in mind, it's entirely usable for any other exam board. The technique is called EVERRY, and I'll take you through it now. Yes, I know it's spelt wrong, but bear with me. The first E is for equation. You read your question and decide which equation would be suitable for the numbers they've given you and what you need to find out. So in this example, we've got a generator that can provide 1,500 watts of power. So we want an equation with power for a maximum of 5 hours. So we want an equation with time. Calculate the energy that can be transferred by the electrical generator. So we want the energy as well. And that equation is power is energy divided by time. The V is for values, and you just write down the values in the question. In this example, power is 1,500 watts. So it's got power is 1,500 watts. And that goes for a maximum of 5 hours. So time is 5 hours. So the values bit is also an opportunity for you to check your units and make sure none need converting into the standard SI units. We'll look at conversions in another video, but in this particular example, the watts are fine. That's absolutely excellent. I'll put a little tick on it. So for time, we've got 5 hours, but our standard unit for time is seconds. So we need to turn hours into seconds. Where we do that, 5 hours, if we times that by 60, we get that 5 hours is 300 minutes. And if we times that by 60 again, we get that 5 hours is 300 minutes, is 18,000 seconds. And that, the right unit, we'll give it a tick. The next E is for enter values. You simply plot the values you just wrote down into the equation in the first step. So we have P and we have T. We don't have E, so that will have to stay as it is. But P is 1,500, so we have 1,500. That equals E, which we don't know, so we leave as E, and divide that by time, which is 18,000 seconds. This step's really easy, but quite often just that is a mark on its own. The first R of EVERRY is for rearrange. You don't always need to rearrange, and so sometimes you can skip this step, but the reason we're rearranging after entering the values and not before is that entering the values is the easiest step, and you quite often get marks just for entering the values correctly. If you need to rearrange the equation and get that wrong, you'd already have the mark for entering the values. If you did it the other way round and got the rearranging wrong, AQA wouldn't give you either mark because you'd have entered values into an equation which isn't technically correct. So in this example, we do need to rearrange it very quickly. So we've got 1,500 is E divided by 18,000. If we times both sides by that 18,000, and I'll show I'm doing that by putting these little times 18,000 on either side, we get that 18,000 times 1,500 is E. That's rearranged. So the last R is for result. You simply put your equation into your calculator and write down the result. So in this example, we put in 18,000 times that by 1,500 and we get an answer of 27 million. So we know then for our second R that E is 27 million. The last step, you might be thinking, why? Y stands for Yunits. Again, I know, but the daftness will help you remember. You just stick the unit on the end. So you have to remember what's the units for energy? And it's joules. So we just put joules on the end of our equation in our example. And that is your answer. And that's it. It can seem long-winded, especially for shorter questions, but the more you do it, the quicker you get. And you won't get caught out by any more silly mistakes. Go ahead and try this with some questions on your own and let me know if it helps. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and if you need further help with revision or anything else in your studies, then get in touch with us at wtuition.co.uk or email info@wtuition.co.uk.